Humans are social creatures. We have been like this for many years since the ancient times and Stone Age. The hunter-gatherers needed each other for survival and finding food. If you're alone, obviously you're outnumbered by any kind of threat and you're no good in the jungle, where only the best adapt and survive. All this to say, we need each other, and there are side effects for spending little to no time with people. Studies show that people who are lonely tend to be obese, have mental health issues, and they even die earlier. That's to say, there is a difference between being lonely and being alone. I'm pretty sure most of you have heard about it. It's that there's a difference between alone and lonely. Alone just means you are logically by yourself, but lonely, it's emotional. It's how you feel. If you feel lonely, it's probably you are craving for someone's attention. Look, I get it. We are social creatures, right? All the humans, we want social interactions and we need it. And nothing wrong with that, but also it's very helpful to realize that it's healthy and refreshing to spend time by yourself. In fact, the greatest people on earth have mostly been alone when they did something extraordinary. Take Tesla or Einstein. I even heard Tesla had some abstinence from relationship or some type like that. But that's a topic for another discussion. When you learn to be okay with yourself, with your thoughts and your own presence, you become independent of others' opinions and negative influence. Now I get it. It might be boring or weird. What is true though is that you are the only person you will always spend time with. People might come into your life or leave it. You, my friend, will always be there for you. And by you, I mean your personality, ego, and your own perception about yourself. Learning to be alone is not that easy though. It takes some courage and understanding that it is okay to spend time with yourself alone and be in peace with it. In fact, people who spend time with themselves and they're okay with themselves are very strong. And I mean mentally. They're so good that they don't even need somebody's attention or somebody's company to be okay with themselves. Me personally, I have never been on the either sides of the extreme. I mean, for example, I have traveled alone and I have traveled with my friends or any other company. So it has been always something in between, something there, something here. But those experiences are a bit different from each other. See, when I was alone, it was almost like a freedom to do whatever I want. Go wherever I want, and it felt a bit unusual. I mean, there's no more complaining about how long we have to walk or when we will have food or let's choose another hotel because it's not really nice. Basically, you're there to explore everything by yourself. The bonus part of traveling alone is that you actually get to meet more people. From my experience, it was always like when I'm alone traveling, that means I'm open to new meetings, to making friends, to having fun, for example, going dancing or doing this type of activities, while if I'm with a company, it doesn't really mean that I can do whatever I want because it mostly means being comfortable in your own social circle and not really meeting a lot of people and socializing. That for me has to be the biggest perk of traveling alone, and not only traveling but also being alone. But here's the question: how do you learn to be alone? How do you get used to spending time in peace with yourself and yourself only? I want you to do next things. First, understand the difference between being lonely and being alone. Second, book a ticket to the cinema and go by yourself. Do not let negative emotions get into you. If you see other people who are there with friends, try not to compare yourself with them. If they're having fun, let them have fun. It doesn't have anything to do with your life. You're not lonely, you're just spending time with yourself alone. Number 3, go out to a restaurant and have food by yourself. This one is a bit tricky because it almost feels like nobody does that nowadays. I mean, it's not really about nowadays, but in general, there are people who kind of feel weird about eating food by themselves, like alone. I think that shouldn't be like that. We all should be okay with going out there and having food by ourselves without needing any other company. Number 4, go for a hike. If you have never done it, this is one of the best things that you can do for yourself. And paradoxically, when you're hiking or doing this type of trip, you actually make more friends or maybe even meet more people, as you have to reach out and ask for help, for directions, for advice. So you might meet more people than you would if you have traveled with somebody. Number 5, have some me time. It could be for going to the gym or building a business or upgrading a skill that you have been thinking about for a long time. Something that will matter in the future. That's called delayed gratification. And number 6, block out the first hour and last hour of the day. Now, this is what I'm still trying to learn and still trying to kind of implement into my own routine. And I admit this is not easy, this is kind of difficult, but essentially you're blocking out some time as a prime time for yourself to meditate, to exercise, to read, to do whatever you want before the world starts disturbing you and starts sending messages, emails, and notifications. So it's basically you being there with yourself and taking care of you. To finish it up, I would like to repeat what I said earlier. The difference between being alone and lonely is that being lonely comes from an emotional attachment to people and a desperate desire to be always with them. Being alone, though, is a logical representation of who you are spending time with at the moment, which is yourself. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.